Okay, Baruchim Habayim B'Shem Hashem. So we are in Sefer Mishlei, first chapter, the Pasuk Yud, 10th Pasuk Yud, short and sweet. Shlomo HaMelech says, Beni im yefatucha chataim al toveh. My son, im yefatucha chataim, if sinners, chataim could really have two meanings in Hebrew. One is sins, and one is, right, sinners. Right? The Gemara tells us that Rabbi Meir, he had some people that, would really give him a very hard time. So he came and he was davening to Hashem. He was cursing them that in the Hashem should kill them. That's one way. You don't need lawyers anymore, right? You could do it through curses. So his wife, Bruria, was very, very knowledgeable, tzaddiket. So she told him, what are you? You're cursing them? David HaMelech said in Barachin Nafshei, Yitamu chataim min haaretz, not chotim. You should daven that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should, cause sins to be erased and eradicated. Not sinners. Yitamu chataim min haaretz. Chataim means sins. Right? But really, that's one interpretation. Chataim in Hebrew could have two meanings. It could mean sinners or sins. So she was saying you should interpret it like, sins and not sinners. Here, Shlomo HaMelech, the son of David HaMelech, says, Beni im yefatucha chataim al toveh. My son, if sinners incite you, do not consent. Faribet midan, I guess, yefatucha, incite you. First of all, you see the opening, Beni, my son. See, the only way for a Musar and for Torah to go over, it's only with love, right? You cannot teach Torah to anybody with all these fear factors, right? In the latest elections in Israel, they were saying, Netanyahu used the fear factor, etc. Right? Which Baruch Hashem, he won. I was very, very elated that he was elected. Baruch Hashem, khair gozash. But fear factors. I don't know. Maybe I think it's a fear factor. He was realistic, but in some areas, fear factors could prevail. But when it comes to Torah, the only way to be successful is what Shlomo HaMelech teaches us. Beni, my son. My son, it's like, it's not my disciple. My son is a love. Father, parents love their kids. And the only way, absolutely the only way to teach Torah is with love. We see it all over.
That's opposite of what Machiavelli said.
That's opposite of what?
Machiavelli.
Yeah, okay. This is,
different.
I don't know about other things, but, the only way, you see, we see it by Matan Torah. We see it by Matan Torah. This was my Weinberg Zatzal always spoke about that. He said, what caused Bnei Israel to say Na'aseh v'Nishma? Right? What caused, we have to study the Torah carefully. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent Moshe Rabbeinu to Bnei Israel, and he said, go tell them, you remember, right, how I took you out of Mitzrayim. What does it have to do? And right after Moshe Rabbeinu says that, Bnei Israel said, whatever Hashem is going to say, Na'aseh v'Nishma. So those things that that Moshe Rabbeinu is going, Hashem is sending him. It's for generations. It's not just for that time. That's the only way you could teach Torah. That's the only way you could bring anybody to say Na'aseh v'Nishma. What was the message? The message was of love. Hashem told him, you remember when I took you out of Mitzrayim, وَإِسَا إِدْخَمَ الْكَنْفَيْنِ الشَّرِيمِ I carried you over the wings of eagles. Right? So what does it mean? So Rashi says, like, all the other birds, when they want to carry their chicks, they carry them underneath them with their feet. They carry the chick and transport them. Right? Why? Because they know if they would put the chicks on their wings, then the eagle would come and grab them. The eagle, what does the eagle do? The eagle puts the chicks on top of the wings and carries them. Because the eagle, the only thing the eagle is afraid of is human beings, like, shooting. So the eagle is saying, let the shots enter me and not my chicks. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I did the same thing. Some say, what is it? I can finish Harim. Rehov in Yerushalayim. Rehov Kanfei Yerushalayim. Just a couple of months ago, one of my kids was there. He said, Abba, I said, where are you? He said, like, I'm on Rehov Kanfei Nesharim. It's beautiful. We have Eretz Israel. And Kanfei, it's not far from, Tachana Merkazit in Yerushalayim, Rehov Kanfei Nesharim. So what is Kanfei Nesharim? So Rashi says Hashem brought the clouds. Right? When the Egyptians were attacking the Jews, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought the Anana Kavod to separate between the Jews and the non-Jews. And the Egyptians, the arrows would go into the cloud, and the cloud would absorb them. So that's Hashem says, I love you. Man pishmargetun shodam. That's what Hashem, that's what Hashem told Bnei Israel. The message was a message of love. And Bnei Israel, as soon as they heard that, they said, whatever Hashem says, na'aseh v'nishma. So it's mamash in the Torah. That's the reason that right before, if you look in Parashat Yitro, Matan Torah, this is, Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, go tell Bnei Israel. This message of love, right, it's a message that a person, if a person doesn't believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu Hashem is a loving Father, he would never have the proper emunah. Today I cried my heart out, when I was listening to this father that, he lost, Rahman al-Islam, Friday night, 7 out of his kids. It was, but you see, it's amazing. The emunah this person has, it's inspiring. In Haram al-Khut in Yerushalayim, I hope that his wife and his one daughter survived out of 8 kids. And the way he was, amazing, I gave korbanot to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I hope there would be kapara for Klal Yisrael. 7 angels. It's, Gezerah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We don't understand at times, obviously, and that's why we say Baruch Dayan HaEmet in this kind of, always when there's a death. But you see, Hashem is a loving Father. Hashem is a loving Father, and the whole purpose of creation was Hatava. If a person doesn't believe in that, he cannot be truly a Ma'amin. If a person doesn't believe that Hashem is a loving, this is not Torah, right? And it's we have spoken about this, many times, that always, before we read about the commandment that we are supposed to love Hashem in Shema. In Shema, one of the commandments that we have, one of the 613 mitzvot, is to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And it's mitzvot tmidit. It's a certain mitzvot, right, come from time to time. But this mitzvah of emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and loving Hashem, it's mitzvah tmidit, like we learned in Derech Hashem. There's not 1 second we are exempted from this mitzvah. But you see, always, before we talk about, right, our obligation to love Hashem, we talk about the love that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to us. First we say, Ahavat Olam Ahavtanu, right, Baruch Ata Hashem Ohevet Amo Yisrael, before Shema. First we swear on that. We say blessing. If a person doesn't believe in that, he should not say that blessing. It's beracha levatala. It's beracha levatala. It's a beracha in vain. We know how chamur, how severe it's to say it's beracha levatala. If a person doesn't believe in that HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves us, so then every day they are saying beracha levatala. Baruch Atah Hashem Ohev et Amo Yisrael. First we talk about the love that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has towards us, and then in Shema we reciprocate with love. And this love, it's not California style love. No, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. A person is supposed to first to become aware how much Hashem loves him, and from that to come to do the mitzvah of loving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right? Unfortunately, we don't talk about these fundamental mitzvot enough. But you see, here we see what really, that's what really brought the entire nation, the Jewish nation, to accept the Torah and to say Na'aseh v'nishma. It's because, they saw, the message was the message of love. You saw how much I love you, all the nisim, all the miracles that I did for you, right? It took out of Mitzrayim, etc., etc. And then Bnei Israel said Na'aseh v'nishma. And we know, as Ramban says, there's a very famous Ramban, the end of Parashat Bo, that why constantly we talk about Yetziat Mitzrayim, Yetziat Mitzrayim, Yetziat Mitzrayim. Right? It's really all Israeliyah Yatzam Ha'af. Yetziat Mitzrayim, Yetziat Mitzrayim, Yetziat Mitzrayim. Every day, many times. It's all about Yetziat Mitzrayim. What's the big deal? So Ramban says, because the message of Yetziat Mitzrayim, it's exactly this. The message of Yetziat Mitzrayim, Hashem once showed us how much He loves us. That how He did all the miracles, He killed the Egyptians and He saved the Jews. Even though, like Makat Bechorot or other ones, the Jews weren't any better than non-Jews. Right? Hashem showed His love to us through all those miracles that He performed, open miracles in Mitzrayim. And whenever we allude to that, Ramban says, right, then we have to come and to think about ourselves in the today terms. That, yes, you think, Hashem is not doing any miracles anymore. Ramban said that, but from that you have to come to understand that every minute of your life it's a miracle. Every minute of that mitoch, Ramban says mitoch nisim geluyim, from those, so to speak, open miracles that we witness and we constantly refer back to in Yetziat Mitzrayim, we have to come to believe. And Ramban says if a person doesn't believe that every minute of his life it's miracles, ein lo chelek b'Torat Moshe. He doesn't have any part in the Torah, that he did not accept the Torah. Yes.
You know I'm the black sheep, so
I love
argue.
Okay, go ahead, go right ahead.
So if He's the loving Father, that He says, look, I saved you from Israel, if He really loved us, why did He put us there? He put us there.
Right.
And then He took us out and says, I love you. I took you out.
Right. No.
What do you mean?
Okay.
If that's the case,
why did
there?
Fine. Good question. Very good question. Why did Bnei Israel go to Mitzrayim? Why did they go to Galut? That's right. Why did Hashem make the Gezerah and Avraham Avinu that his children, they have to go to Galut, to exile? Because Avraham Avinu's emunah, as great as it was, wasn't complete. The Gemara says, because Avraham Avinu says, Hashem promised him, I give you Eretz Yisrael, Bamei Daki Rashena. How would I know that you're going to give it to me? Your emunah is not complete. You need to go to Galut. Hashem had to take Bnei Israel, because you see, everything is emunah. Everything, it's this 100% emunah, 100% of realization that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving to us non-stop. This is the whole Torah. Avraham Avinu, it's like, they were talking about the generation of the seeds. The seeds are planted. In that seed, if you have a little, you see, when I was taking, when I was going to college, my younger days, right? Economics 101, they talk to you about Malthus. like the Malthus nightmare. Did anybody take 101 economics? Malthus was one of the first economists in the world. And he had, I think, predicted, I don't know, the 1600s, 1700s, that by the year 1800, the humanity is going to be eradicated. Why? Because he just saw, okay, how much land there is that could be cultivated, and the way the population is increasing, multiplying, that's it. It was just basic, forecasting and arithmetics that that's going to be any humanity. This is called, the economists called it the Malthus nightmare. He was 100% right. It would have happened, but what happened? You had the Green Revolution. They started to engineer the seeds, and if there were if 1 grain of wheat would give a harvest of, let's say, 1 pound, let's say, now it gives hundreds of tons. Why? They engineered the seeds, right? Everything's in the seed. They spent billions of dollars, who knows, research, and still they do it. Right? Israel is very advanced in it. Did you know all these cherry tomatoes? It's an Israeli invention. Did you know that? Cherry tomatoes, that they're so, this is an Israeli invention. When we were growing up, we didn't have this. It was, we had an Israeli Esfauni. Very nice guy, very nice guy. I hope to invite him to come to Shul to speak. He keeps Shemitah. So, they brought him to America to, that people should help people that keep this year's Shemitah in Eretz Yisrael. I think his name his last name is Ahdut Cohen. He's 5, he was, I think, maybe 1 year old. He came from Isfahan to Israel. Such a beautiful, what?
Cohen?
He's a Cohen, I think so. Ahdut. Anyway, but he was, I brought him to school, he spoke to the kids. And he told them, he showed a video, etc., about Shemitah, and he said, by the way, cherry tomatoes, it's an Israeli invention. They do research on seeds, etc. Who knows how much they spend? Because everything is in the seeds, right? So here you have to understand the whole Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Shvatim, going to Mitzrayim. This is how the seed of the Jewish nation was developed. That seed has to be perfect. From Avraham Avinu, there were some shortcomings. That's why Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu Hashem sent us to Mitzrayim for that pure seed of the Jewish nation to be developed. We had to go to Mitzrayim. That's why that was also love that took us to Mitzrayim. Right? So, but you see, this is what we are talking about. It's really, unfortunately, we don't talk about this enough. You see, if a person doesn't believe that Hashem loves him, he would never be Oved Hashem. Because it's a love that's reciprocate love. It all has to do with it. Otherwise, it's not going to go. Hashem caused Bnei Israel to say Na'aseh v'nishma, what the message was, message of love. I remember Weinberg's voice was talking, he spoke in this room here about this, and we had just opened the shul here, moved to here. And also in the Torah itself, it talks about us as parents and teachers, right? The Torah tells us, less than 2 weeks it's Pesach. Hashem says you should teach everything about Torah and Mitzrayim, etc., etc. Be'ozne bincha uben bincha. It says just, to your son, to your children and grandchildren. How come it doesn't say great-grandchildren? Baruch Hashem, in this generation, a lot of people are zocheh to have great-grandchildren also. See, in Hebrew, grandfather is Saba. So they say when you have a great-grandchild, you become Sababa. Sababa in modern Hebrew, it's Sababa, right? Sababa, right? So, how come the Torah doesn't say that the Sababa should teach also his great-grandchildren? Ba'al HaTurim says because the love that a person has for his children and grandchildren is the same. But when it comes to great-grandchildren, that love diminishes. It's not the same. Still you love them, but it's far. So, and since You could only teach Torah with love. This is every year before, when we have the teachers of the school, we have a gathering, I go over this. Since, Baal HaTurim says, since the love that you have for grandchildren, you don't have for your great-grandchildren, that's why the Torah doesn't command you to teach Torah. It's a good thing to do, but it's not going to be as effective for your great-grandchildren, because the only way to teach Torah is with love. Right? So, obviously, Ahava has to be with discipline also, but basically it has to be with love. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Right? It does not mean not to discipline. Even disciplining, it's out of love. And the kids have to realize that. I told you, Rabbi David, his children told me that, sometimes Rabbi David apparently would use a belt. Hey! And then we tell them they should kiss the belt. He said this was the most painful thing. That after you are hit with the belt, to go back and to kiss it. Right? Because he wanted to tell them that it's out of love if he punishes them. This is Rabbi David. Anyway, back to Shlomo HaMelech. Beni, im yefatucha chataim lo toveh. If sinners, so first, now we understand why he says Beni. Beni, it's, I want my musar to penetrate you, and that's what, but I want you to know I love you. That's why I'm giving you this musar. So what is he saying? Im yefatucha chataim lo toveh. So we say chataim, it really means chotim. If sinners try to entice you,
Let's seduce you.
What? Seduce you, the article translates entice, right? Or seduce, it's the same thing. He says, what lo toveh? What does lo toveh mean? Toveh, ava means to want. Don't give them an opening. Don't give them an opening. Ralbag says, one of the Mefarshim says, we know, before we have Yetzer Hatov in life, first we have Yetzer Hara. Yetzer Hara owns us till the day of Bar Mitzvah or Bat Mitzvah. Gaon says that whatever little kids do, good things that they do, you should know it's all because you have to give them shochat. It doesn't come from Yetzer Hatov. They want you to like them. That's why it's very important to give them shochat, bribes. Bribes, right? A lot of rabbis like they give candy, this, that, bribes. Weinberg Zatzal, he told us once that he learned Mishnayot, a lot of Mishnayot, because his father would give him money. Right? Mishnayot Baal Peh, I'm going to give you money. Before he was Bar Mitzvah, right? Till the day a person becomes Bar Mitzvah, Bat Mitzvah. So this is what really is the overpowering. We don't have Yetzer Hatov. Because you see, till the day of Bar Mitzvah, a person has only Nefesh. See, Neshama has different levels. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and Yechida. These are the different levels of Neshama. The lowest part is Nefesh. The lowest part is Nefesh. And Nefesh, animals also have Nefesh. True. The Jewish Nefesh, the human being's Nefesh, it's, we have Nefesh Behemit, but basically it's Nefesh. On the day of Bar Mitzvah or Bat Mitzvah, a person gets Ruach. This is the next level of Neshama. And then when a person turns 20, they get the full Neshama. Chaya and Yechida, it's not everybody gets it, right? Those are higher levels. But you see, so till Bar Mitzvah there is Nefesh, there is no Ruach. That's why it's only Yetzer Hara till that age. Right? So Yetzer Hara is in us first. Hashem tells in the Torah, Ki Yetzer Lev, V'Yetzer Lev Ha'adam Ra Min Ha'urav. The Torah says. It's Yetzer Hara. So you see, so being aware of that, it's very important. Ralbag says, Ma'achar v'yetzer lev ha'adam ra min ha'urav. That's why he says, Yetzer Hara is very powerful. Be careful. And the Gaon says, Yetzer Hara, right, what does he do? He has so many tactics to beautify its product. Because the Yetzer Hara doesn't have anything substantial to sell us. That's why the Yetzer Hara comes in the most beautiful packaging that you could imagine. Most beautiful packaging you could imagine. Right? Because otherwise there's no chance for Yetzer Hara to win us. Because we come, because we have the only thing that could overpower Yetzer Hara is Torah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the manufacturer of Yetzer Hara, right? In Mishlei, constantly we're going to be talking about Yetzer Hara. The manufacturer of this Junevar is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? Right. And Hashem says, I am the creator, I'm the manufacturer, and I'm telling you, Barati Yetzer Hara, for a good reason. I always tell the kids in school already know that. So, what is the best thing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created in the world? Yetzer Hara. Because if not for Yetzer Hara, we won't have any rewards, right? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Hashem says that Barati Torah Tavlin. And the only Tavlin, the only thing that could really overcome Yetzer Hara is Torah. Nothing else. Ramchal in Mesilat Yesharim, he says, look, if somebody has infection, you have to give antibiotic. Don't go for all these homeopathy, this and that. If you don't give antibiotic, it's not going to go away. If you take other medication, it's not going to help. It's not going to help. So Ramchal says the same thing with Yetzer Hara. No other remedy is in the world that could really cure the Yetzer Hara. The only remedy for Yetzer Hara is Torah. That's why it's so important that it's only learning Torah every day keeps the Yetzer Hara away, right? Because you see, if a person doesn't have Torah, it's like you're going to war without having arms. It's a sure defeat, right? So Gaon says, so now, Yetzer Hara has tactics. Gaon says, Yetzer Hara, a lot of times, you have people that are very eloquent speakers. Obama is... I used to be, more... I didn't vote for him, but recently I told you now, because of his stance on Israel, you see, he is, people that, I remember from the first time, I think, it was running for president, right, first time, he came to the APAC, I think, convention in Washington. Somebody that I know, that, a friend of mine that was there, he said, this guy, he electrified the crowd. He is amazing. He said, when he walked in, started talking, everybody Yimach Shemo, Hitler also. If you go to the Museum of Tolerance and Pico, they have tapes of his, Jesus talking German. But you could see, even, I don't understand German, not much, but you could see the way he talks. Right? So you see, you always have the Yetzer Hara, the Satan, whatever. They come in, a lot of, Wolpe, the same thing. Everybody, Wolpe is a very good speaker. I enjoy, sometimes I go on YouTube, he's debating, non-believers that, he's very eloquent. Unfortunately, he doesn't believe Torah Mishamai. He doesn't believe Torah is God-given. So that makes him pursue. But, you see a lot of times Yetzer Hara, they have, they come out with the best packaging. Speech, looks, etc., etc. Right? See, I think down the block they give free courses to models if they come there Friday nights, etc. To entice people to come to prayers. Madonna, whatever. I don't know even the names. Anyway, the bottom line is the Gaon says Yetzer Hara miyapeh et schorato. That's how it works. There's a beautiful mashal from Chafetz Chaim. I just said it in school last week to the kids. Chafetz Chaim says like, how the Yetzer Hara works. That this is Chafetz Chaim doesn't say that. Some other Mepharshim say it's like somebody is very cold, right? And he goes there is somewhere there is hot tar, khire gal. So he goes and he lies down in that, and he has the pleasure of the moment, and then he's going to be stuck with that tar, right? So see, that's actually also chametz al matzah. You see, bread is much tastier, much more tastier than matzah, right? But you see what happens if bread, after if you leave it some sort of time, it's gonna go bad. Kapak mizanu, moldio, throw it away. Matzah is not flashy. Matzah stays for forever. In California, they tell you always should have some crackers matzah, because the matzah could have it for years, right? So that reminds me, I have to order matzot. Anyway, so it's they have matzot from previous years. It's as good. You put in the oven, much. It's kashrut wise, it's okay, and it's much cheaper also. Anyway, shmura. If you take in a hand shmura matzah from previous years, it's not a problem, right? So anyway, this is so. Chafetz Chaim says. I don't know if I told you this or not. Chafetz Chaim says that once there was this guy, very shrewd person. He wanted to have a good meal. So he goes on the street, just dressed up very nicely, etc. He sees somebody he had never met. Right? He comes and tells the guy, "Wow, do you remember me? Wow, I'm so happy to be meeting you. Who are you? You don't remember? We used to be classmates. To Iran, I don't recall. Oh, no, you don't recall, but I remember you. I remember you were this, we were that, And now, Baruch Hashem, we met each other. We need to celebrate. So how are we going to celebrate? Here, I want to treat you to the fanciest restaurant in town, right? We have to celebrate." So the guy, okay, why not have a free meal, right? He's on him. They go to the fanciest restaurant in town, right? And they bring the menu, and the guy wasn't talking to do something modest. So no, go full course. Get the most expensive, entree, and this and that, main dish, and that they eat, and he obviously, for himself also, he wants it to, orders everything, on, and then the finish, and then the waiter comes with with samples of what kind of desserts and most and this and this and that. Please, go. It's on the house. Order everything comes, and they had the most beautiful meal. So then the one who invited this guy says, "I'll be back in a minute. I have to powder my nose." And then he just skips down. He leaves the restaurant, and this guy is stuck there. Chafetz Chaim says that probably a couple of months worth of his salary he has to pay. They're not going to let him go. He's going to be stuck with the bill. Chafetz Chaim says this is exactly how the Satan works with us. He comes and he entices us. Yeah, the better word. What seduces us for the most beautiful tactics and very, very sophisticated. And yes, gives us a lunch, but it's not a free lunch. Afterwards, we are going to be stuck with the consequences. So, but we have to realize that's why now Shlomo HaMelech says, "Beni, I love you." You have to realize how the chataim, how these sinners work, right? Lo toveh. He said, don't give the Yetzer Hara an opening, because once you give the smallest opening to Yetzer Hara, right, you're going to lose, right? This is how Yetzer Hara works. He says, right? You see, that's why Shlomo HaMelech learned this from his father, David HaMelech, the very, very first pasuk in Tehillim. It's very interesting. The pasuk in Tehillim starts with what? Ashrei ha'ish asher lo halach ba'atzat reshaim. ובדרך חטאים לא עמד, ובמושב לצים לא ישב. Happy is a person that did not go with the advice of the wicked, and on the path of sinners he did not stand. ומושב לצים לא ישב, and he did not sit with the wrongdoers. You see, here it's very interesting. There is a progression. First it says, right, the Gemara says that David HaMelech is talking about Yetzer Hara. He said the way Yetzer Hara works with you, first, lo halach, it's halicha. Then it's amidah, then it's yeshiva. Like you're passing somewhere, the Yetzer Hara lures you to come in. So you stop walking, you stand, and then you're going to end up sitting. First you're passing by, right? Asher lo halach ba'atzat rishayim. Then it's standing. ובדרך חטאים לא עמד, ובמושב לצים לא ישב. If you don't keep going, you're going to end up sitting. That's how the Yetzer Hara works with us. It's done gradually. Gradually, you know, I remember, see, when I came to America in 1975, before the revolution, I had one of my relatives that, you know, I was close to when I was in Iran. The day I came to America, I think it was August 17th, I came to America. I was on my way to Canada, actually, because I had graduated from Hebrew U. I was going to Canada I was accepted in York University for an MBA program. I was supposed to go to York University. I came to America, they told me you're late. It's a different story. The whole thing, HaKadosh Baruch Hu had these plans that I should go to Baltimore. but you see, then when I saw that, you know, where they told me come back come for the next semester, it was August already, for January to Toronto. So meanwhile, I had some friends in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, there's Wharton School of Business. It's one of the top business schools in America. So I decided to go there, to go to Philadelphia to see if maybe I'll go there for for MBA program. So I met this relative that I knew from Iran, distant relative. Started talking this and that. So it was the whole family. They invited me to their house, and I wasn't sure are they kosher, not kosher. Right, so all of a sudden I see they have chicken and stuff there, and before I ate anything, and I see they brought some dairy stuff there. What's going on? So we started talking, and I said, sure, before they came to America, they kept kosher. I said, no, don't worry, here the government supervises this America. As if it's just health issues with kashrut. But you see, they told me about the progression, that when they came to America, first, they would not, they told me we went to Oklahoma, I know where he was. So for some time, I would not touch. He was a Talmid of my father also. Baruch Hashem now is full Baal Tshuva. Baruch Hashem. But so he told me, he said, first he came, okay, how much tuna fish could you eat? So he says gradually he started, no, but the people told his friends, told him, look, here, kashrut is for what? Hashem loves us. It's for health and this and that. Here in Iran, you didn't have that. Here in America, the American government, the agriculture, whatever, they supervise everything. Gradually started eating chicken, and then everything. It was chachan, kurbaghe, everything gone. Right? A very gradual process. That's how Yetzer Hara works, right? First is halicha, then is amidah, then is yeshiva. You just don't sit right away. First you stop walking. First you're walking with it. Then you stand, and then you sit, right? This is a tactic that Yetzer Hara has, of using of koach ha'hergel, to get us into doing things how? Gradually. Look at this. The Torah tells us that Yaakov Avinu Alav Shalom, he had bought his plot, right? He had a plot in Marat HaMachpelah. Avram Avinu had bought, right, the Marat HaMachpelah in Hebron For what? To, for a burial spot for him and his children. And Yaakov Avinu, right, so Yitzchak has two sons. So which one of them is going to get the plot in Hebron, in Marat HaMachpelah? Yaakov Avinu bought the plot. You know that. Yaakov Avinu, the Torah says, Asher Kariti, Yaakov Avinu, all the money that he made from Lavan, etc., he gave everything to Esav, and he bought the right to be buried in Marat HaMachpelah. Okay? Yaakov Avinu passed away in Mitzrayim, in Egypt. So his children, as he was Metzaveh, right, his will, they bring him to bury him there. When they come there, Esav comes and says, no, over my dead body. This is I'm the Bechor. This is my plot. So the brothers started talking to him. Why? No, but it's not like this. No, our father said that he bought it. They start negotiating with him. Right? They start negotiating with him. And meanwhile, Yaakov Avinu's body is like laying there. They are negotiating, etc. And finally, so Esav said, what? He saw, do you have any documents? The documents back in Mitzrayim, okay? Send somebody to bring the document that I sold the plot to my brother Yaakov. So he said, okay, Naftali Ayala Shulucha. Naftali was the marathon runner. They dispatched him to go to Mitzrayim, to go back a few days soon as to bring the sale document. Meanwhile, Hushim ben Dan had only one son, Hushim. He was deaf and mute. So he saw like, his grandfather, they have come all of everything to come to bed. And, right, it's bizayon, it's such a, so he tried, I learned a sign language, what's going on? They told him, Esav is this and that, right? So he hit his uncle, right, what did he do? His great uncle, I guess. He hit him and he killed Esav, and they buried Yaakov Avinu in Marat HaMachpelah. If you go to Hebron next time you go there, right, there is this plaza there, right? We went together, right?
I remember you told me.
Right. They say that if you go there, before you go up the steps to go to Marat HaMachpelah up there is a whole something that it's fenced around it. They say the head of Esav is buried here, and they say, and that's why Rivka told Yaakov, Lama Eshkal, why would I lose you both in the same day? It wasn't, she didn't lose them the same day, but they were buried the same day. Right? So now the question of Chaim Shmulevitz says, how come, did Hushim ben Dan do the right thing? Yes. What do you know? You are coming, how come the brothers, nobody else thought of that? That what Esav is doing here, it's such an avla, and they should get rid of it. Only Hushim ben Dan did. So Chaim Shmulevitz says this is what we are learning here. By the brothers, there was a process. They started negotiating with Esav. Yes, no, but it's here, that, and that led to such a bizayon that they got used to. Yes, he has a point. He has a point. Hushim he didn't negotiate or anything. He didn't enter any negotiation. What? My grandfather is laid here, and this Meshugai is, killed him on the spot. But you see, Reb Chaim Shmulevitz says that here, Hashem is telling us a lesson. Don't negotiate with Yetzer Hara. That's why also you see by Yosef Atzel, because otherwise you get used to it. You get used to and it's going to be, you're going to get used and you're going to accept it. Right? Weinberg Zatzal said, how did the Nazis in Machshava came to do what they did? They started first, all kind of propaganda. Jews, they are not really regular human beings. They are subhuman beings. You have to, they started like, people at the beginning said, no, what are you talking about? This, that, at the beginning. But they kept on and on and on, and people, when you said they got any kind of idea, you could sell it to them. Right? That's how gradually, yes, how do you get a nation? It wasn't one person that did this. But you see, people got used to that. At the beginning, it was like, what is he talking about? But gradually, people got to say, yes, they are not human beings. They're like rats. They got used to the idea. You could say, gradually, look. But we could use the same. But you see, we have to know this is the tactic of Yetzer Hara. And that's why Yosef HaTzadik, when the wife of his master wanted to seduce him, it says Vayima'en, right? Vayima'en, there's shalshelet in it, right? The Ta'amim shalshelet. He said, absolutely no. No negotiations. Right? No, I'm not going to. She was coming and telling me, look, I saw in Itztagnut that, your neshama, my soul, your soul, it's to get Vayima'en. I don't. Yosef HaTzadik did not enter any negotiations. And that's why you see a lot of, you see like if somebody does Shmirat Einayim or this and that. You see, if you go to Mea Sha'arim, so you see some of these Hasidim, if they see like somebody is not dressed properly, they would take their hand. They don't want to look. So you make fun of it. Right? You will make fun, what is this? And you have to realize, this is, Yetzer Hara works gradually. It doesn't happen like, right away. Step by, that's why the best tactic is really total seclusion. You see, being aware of what Shlomo HaMelech is telling us, Beni, im yefatucha chatoim al toveh, because koach ha'hergel, how the Yetzer Hara has these gradual tactics, we could use it for good, to inquire good habits, right? An example that we see that was very successful in America is about smoking. See, when I came to America, you have all these campaigns, etc., etc. But look, here in California, you hardly, very few people now smoke. It wasn't like this. But then they had all these campaigns constantly. Rabbi Sachar says, my Rabbi. Like you remember, the cigarette companies, they'll make money off of killing of you. No, anti-smoking.
Oh, anti.
First, they were selling by Marlboro Man, etc., etc. But then, when they started, they decided that they want to eradicate smoking. They were very successful. How? It was a campaign. I remember, now you have it less. On Olympic, I remember there was a big coffin. Right? So this is this cigarette.
On Santa Monica, it still says smoking deaths and counting.
Yeah, but you see, this is this. If there is this koach that you could come and brainwash gradually a generation to become Nazis, so you could use it for good things. You could use it for a campaign, right? For good things. Mm-hmm. And it's koach again. If a person, I remember, when I decided to do Daf Yomi, so the only way to do it was really to do it the formula that we have now. So I had to get used to getting up early. I didn't used to get up so early in the morning. It was very difficult at the beginning. But you see, once you get used to it, it becomes a second nature. When you get used to it, right, it's good disciplines. At the beginning, it's difficult. But you see, when you get used to it, it becomes like, it becomes easy, right? We have to learn from it. And this is the tactic of Yetzer Hara. The same Yetzer, this Chushim versus the other brothers, right? The other brothers got used to it, through the dialogue, etc., etc. If you give an opening to Yetzer Hara, he's going to take it. It's going to be like gradually penetrate more and more and more. But we have to learn to use it for positive. We have to get that to acquire good habits, right? We should use the same tactic. First of all, not to make, extreme changes, to do it gradually, right? And to be persistent. And it's going to work. If it works, if it works for bad things, kol sheken, it's gonna work for good things, right? And you see, that's also for becoming Baal Tshuva. People that easy come, easy go. I've seen that, right? People that's why the Rav Sternbuch says it's like becoming a Baal Tshuva or mitchazkut. It's like a baby that is born. The baby doesn't start running, right? First, the baby, the first time the baby turns over, wow! Now it's on WhatsApp, etc. I tell with my grandchildren, Baruch Hashem, etc. And then, he held on to the thing, to the crib, and standing. Now he let go, and he starts walking. Very gradual. Very gradual. The same thing is with, taking upon ourselves, more mitzvot, other things. Gradual, it needs to be done gradually. We have to learn from Yetzer Hara, from the tactics of Yetzer Hara for good, to do changes, etc., for good. Be'ezrat Hashem, in a positive way. Beni mifatucha chataim lo toveh.